Hey everyone, this is Carbotonic and welcome back to another exciting episode here in Pokemon Platinum. In the last part we defeated one of the commanders at the Valley Windworks, and today's episode we're going to be making our way to kind of the next area in the game. Now, to get there you just kind of need to be going north of Floroma Town. We're kind of done with all of that now, so as you can see here we're just outside a honey bark and we're just going to slather it with some honey. To get to the next area you probably will encounter quite a lot of trainers. Most of these trainers shouldn't cause you too much trouble. To be honest, this is actually a pretty good place to, I guess, be grinding, if you want to call it, as the term that I will be implementing as a way of leveling up most of my Pokemon, hopefully around in this area. Most of the trainers should be particularly easy because, I mean, you do have one badge, you've defeated a lead commander of the Team Galactic, and yeah, hopefully sir, it wouldn't cause you too much trouble, and if it does then hopefully this could be a miniature guide to your problems, and yeah, Kuiper could be your saviour for the day. The next place we're going to be kind of making our way to is a place called Eterna Forest. We need to go to that place because it's actually the next stop, or the next area that we need to visit in order to get to the next town. And hopefully, eventually, it will lead to gaining the second Pokemon Gym badge. For the time being, Piplup is evolving! I mean, this is kind of like nothing new. We've kind of already seen Starly evolve and Sparky evolve, you know. So Piplup is now finally evolving into Prinplup! Yay! That thing looks much better now. It kind of does resemble Happy Feet, and yeah, so I guess that kind of makes up the name. So we're about to learn Metal Claw. I'd actually recommend learning that just so then you can actually have a variety of moves. As you can see we have Pound, Growl, Bubble and Peck. I'd actually recommend getting rid of Growl because there's no need to keep Growl. You have a normal type, you have a steel type, you have a flying type, and you also have a water type move in your arsenal of attack. So to be honest, we're kind of looking good to go with Prinplup here. So that's dealt with. That trainer had a ponytail which wasn't too tough, and let's see what this encounter wild Pokemon might be. Hey, Buizel. Buizel is actually a pretty good Pokemon actually. If I wasn't actually using a Prinplup for this walkthrough, for some reason I can't escape that, it's strange. I would have actually picked up this Buizel because, yes, it's early on in the game, and plus, I kind of like Buizel and its evolution. Buizel, sorry, evolves into a Pokemon called Floetzel? Or Floatzel? Or Floetzel? Floetzel? Yeah, Floatzel. It's Floatzel. Floetzel, that's a silly name. It does evolve into that, which is actually a pretty good physical attacking water move Pokemon. So I'd say, yeah, pick it up if you kind of started out with Turtwig. And yeah, this is kind of a little bit more annoying than I would have actually anticipated because I wanted to run from this to save a little bit more time. But unfortunately, Buizel just wanted to fight me. And yeah, it gets smashed by a Pound and other moves. So there we go, down it goes. As you can see, I actually lost half of my HP. I'm just going to change things up here because I can actually see a hiker. I mean, you can actually tell when it's a hiker. It's kind of one of the bigger characters in the game. There's no mountain here, but I'm dressed to hike. Haha, I'm so great. Yes, if you absolutely believe you're so great, then you will actually be able to defeat all my Pokemon. So let's see if your words is strong enough as your Pokemon might be. So go Petal. Petal might be able to take on this dude particularly well. Mega Drain that HP and sap it all up. And hopefully this will be a taken down Geodude. There we go, not really too tough. Alright, let's see what else you have on this team of your Pokemon that's very tough to defeat. Oh wow, you have another Geodude. What a surprise. Yeah, to be honest, hikers will only probably carry like Geodudes, Gravelers, which is the evolution to Geodude, Onix, even maybe a Sandshrew. I don't know if they will be all carrying like those type of Pokemon. Because it's only hikers. I mean, they kind of only like to use rock type Pokemon. I mean, yeah, they actually are always hiking in the mountains, and mountains is usually a place where you can catch a rock type Pokemon. I cannot speak for some reason. Okay, so he finally has another Geodude. So this is kind of good experience for my Petal here because usually Geodudes are not particularly strong. and if you do have a water or a grass type Pokemon, they should be particularly easy to take down. So there we go. 3 moves, and that's 3 taking down Geodudes. I'm pretty happy with that. I wish every game could be like that. You know, you just use 1 move and you just take out the whole entire enemy of the opposition. I mean, like, some games are just very, very annoying, especially in other RPGs, for example. So we're trying to learn Worry Seed. To be honest, I probably wouldn't actually go with learning that. What it kind of does is, if I remember correctly, it'll kind of lay down a seed on yourself. Basically, I think you can actually regain HP after each of the moves is gone. So kind of it's like an end phase, and once you've done like your both turns, you and your opponent, after that you gain a little bit of HP back. So it's not too bad, but I wouldn't recommend learning it because, to be honest, if you kind of do lose a bit of HP, let it be, and you can always heal up eventually afterwards. So let's see what this young little girl has. Hopefully nothing too tough for my pedo. I don't know, she kind of resembles maybe like having a grass type Pokemon. She does! She has a Roselia. And Roselia is actually the evolution to a Bidoof, so it's kind of nice to see that, and you kind of get to see quite first hands on what it kind of will evolve into that. So it's good for Pokédex if you didn't actually pick up a Bidoof back in the earlier routes of the game. So I'm just going to go into Staravia, my Zephyr, and the Zephyr should be able to handle this particularly well because I do resist its grass type move, and wing attack it's going to be super effective, and it should do the trick against this Roselia. There we go, take it out in 1 hit. So things are looking particularly good, you know. I'm kind of enjoying this so far. My experience of actually gaining all against these Pokemon, just taking them down all in 1 turn, so it seems. So none of these trainers are too tough. That Buizel has actually caused more stress than anything else, which is kind of strange, you know, a wild Pokemon causing stress over trainer battles, which is something you don't really do come across too much often. So here's a Shellos. Shellos is actually a nice type Pokemon. When it does evolve, there's actually 2 types of Shellos, I should say. There's an East and a West version. One of them will be this color, the other version will be I think it's kind of like a light blue color, maybe like a cyan type of color. Maybe not that particular type of blue, but it's kind of more like a light blue. And when it does evolve, it evolves into a Pokemon called Gastrodon, and whichever type of color you kind of have, and yeah, it'll evolve into the same particular color as well. So it kind of based on what area you're in, because there's a Shellos East and there's actually a Shellos West. So I kind of imagine we're kind of in the west of the area, because based on the map I'm going to assume we're kind of in the west. It's kind of hard to associate it based on like without having a compass, but I'm going to assume if we're kind of like in the west, because we kind of started out in like the south, is it southwest of the area of the game? So I'm going to assume just because we've been going north, we're still kind of in the western region of the game. So here's a Bidoof. It's going to use a defense curl, and what else can you do against me? Eventually you will die because Mega Drain is taking all your HP away. Let's see, Bidoof, have you got anything for me? Nope, just a tackle, and that's not really going to do too much. So yeah, so Bidoof evolves into a Pokemon called Beaveril. I kind of would only pick up a Bidoof just for HM reasons, because it can actually learn Rock Smash, Cut, which is something we'll probably come eventually across in this game, and its evolution can actually learn Surf as well. So I mean, if you don't really want to be teaching any of your Pokemon any of those type of moves, I usually always carry like a Bidoof in the Sinnoh region, just because it can actually do all those and learn all those HMs, which is particularly good because, you know, if you do want to use different moves in your allocated 4 slots, it's something that you could probably go along with. Maybe Surf could be taught to one of your water type Pokemon, because it would actually gain the same type attack bonus based on the typing of itself. So I kind of like that. I mean, yeah, Bidoof and Bidoof, sorry, and Beaveril. Trying to remember, there's so many Pokemon in this game, it's kind of hard to remember, but yeah, those 2 Pokemon in general can actually be a good asset to your team if you want to use them as a HM slave. So here's a Pachirisu. This Pokemon actually doesn't have an evolution at all. because I guess that's what they kind of decided to go on. Like, some Pokemon in each of the generations don't have an evolution. That's just based on their opinion on how they want you to design the game. It would have been nice to actually see like an evolution for the Pachirisu, because it's only it's a very small Pokemon, and you know, it's an electric type Pokemon. If it had like one other evolution, I wouldn't have minded using that throughout this game, but to be honest, I'm not really a big fan of Pachirisu just because it doesn't have an evolution. So that kind of hinders its stats. The Pokemon that do actually evolve do get better stats as they level up, and of course as they evolve. It's just the nature of the game. Here's a Petchy Berry, some berries you can actually pick up along on your way to Eterna Forest. Let's see what else. There's actually another item just around here. Just skip that for a moment. Let's just go pick it up. Let's see what it is. It's a heal ball. Not really a ball that you probably wouldn't want to use that often, if any at a time at all. Anyway, it's not the best Pokeball to use in this game, and to be honest, I probably won't be using it. I might just keep it like for like when I do come across like some random Pokemon that I may want to try and capture in this game. I might just chuck it for the fun of it, because sometimes that's kind of like a fun idea to do, and well, it just involves you using random Pokeballs or different types of balls in this game that you can just throw at the wild Pokemon and just see how it goes. So here's an Apom. This is actually a normal type Pokemon, and in the 4th generation of Pokemon, some Pokemon actually did evolve differently in the game. Like, the standard Pokemon will evolve based on leveling. Some Pokemon do require trade, which basically involves you and your friend or people over the Wi-Fi to trade between one another. And like Pokemon such as Kadabra, Machoke, Graveler, for example, those type of Pokemon do needed like the trade feature of the game to evolve them to the next evolution. Whereas like in an Apom, for example, that kind of requires a certain type of move, I think, if I remember correctly, a certain type of move and a certain type of level where it can evolve into its evolution, which is Ambipom. Originally, Apom was actually a 2nd generation Pokemon, and to be honest, in the 4th generation, a lot of Pokemon did get actually another evolution to them. One included Apom. I mean, originally there was nothing in the 3rd generation for its evolution, but the 4th generation introduced Ambipom, which is a pretty good Pokemon. It's a good physical attacker. It's quite fast, and I kind of like Ambipom. And Apom, for example, as well. So Apom can actually be found, do you know, from those honey trees that we've been putting honey on those type of barks. For example, you can actually find them as well on those trees. It's a Pokemon that you can pick up pretty early in this game. I wouldn't doubt maybe like using one, but personally, it's up to you. I mean, I like it, some people don't. I think it's a normal type Pokemon. I think it's a good physical attacker just for early on in the game. So here's a Onix. Nothing new against a hiker here, of course, you know. They just have the same Pokemon over and over. So Mega Drain, and yep, free experience for Petal. And voila! Gonna be going up to near enough the next level, are we? Yes, we are. Level 18, excellent. So things are looking kind of fly away with Petal. I mean, it's having its own day, as you can probably tell. Leveling up a couple of times, and yep, none of these trainers are causing any havoc at all. Let's just carry on. Here's a person that seems to be either running around or walking very fast. I really can't tell. Some trainers are kind of like that in this game. They will be kind of walking around very fast or just running about because it's their form of exercise. As you can tell, this trainer is going to be a trainer that we... There's nothing I'll be holding back. Let's see what the she has, for example. You were challenged by Battle Girl Kelsey. So she has a Machop, and that kind of does make up the reason why she was sort of running around or sprinting, or I don't really know what you really want to call it, but her animation of like moving about was very strange, but I guess it kind of makes up for the Pokemon that she's using, which is a Machop. We could have picked, yeah, like I said, we found the Machop earlier on in one of the previous parts, so it used Foresight, which is a move that works better against Ghost type Pokemon basically because Ghost type Pokemon are immune to Fire type moves, but Foresight basically allows you to be hitting them with Fire type moves once you've used Foresight. So it's a move I probably would never use, just because if you do come across a Ghost type Pokemon whilst using a Fighting type Pokemon, it just wouldn't make sense. I would actually switch things up. Or if you do come across into like a Ghost type area in the game, just don't use a Fighting type Pokemon, just use something else. So here's a Repel, a nice useful item that we can never say bad things for, because it does prevent us from bumping into wild encounters that we don't really want to be doing up against. So let's see what this trainer has. I think this might be the last trainer that we probably will be fighting for today, because to be honest, the next episode we're just going to be going through the Eterna Forest. I want to kind of make that as a bigger episode, because it's actually a pretty big place, and yeah, we're just going to be doing it in different sections. So here's actually a Piplup. If you start out with one of the two other evolution starters, sorry, they probably would have been evolved by now, but yep, Piplup would be kind of useful to encounter just there, because you get it for your Pokédex, and if you're one of these people that likes to complete their Pokédex, yep, you just will battle that trainer and you will come across a Piplup. Oh boo, how insulting. Insulted by what? I just beat you fair and square. Let's just see if there's anything down here. There's an item. Don't jump down there because you will probably be pretty mad with yourself, and yeah, just don't do it. So here's a super potion which will recover 50 HP. It's kind of useful. And yep, let's just go inside of this house just for a moment, because this is actually a pretty useful pit stop. Because one of these two people, I think this lady on the right hand side, will actually cure your Pokemon. It's basically like a nurse joy, except she's not really a nurse joy, but she's just like a random person that can heal your Pokemon. So that's kind of good. So just step back outside onto Route 205. Let's see if there's anything up ahead, which there is, which is Eterna Forest. And like I said, we're just going to be covering that in the next episode. So guys, thank you very much for watching. This has kind of been like one of those random episodes where I've just ranted on, but we've fought a lot of trainers, and yeah, sometimes that will come across. So I will catch you guys in the next episode, and thank you for watching. Goodbye.